I I was just jamming
Hello.
out to that
A
tune.
cushion. Hey.
Oh my God, of course you were.
It's a good
Okay.
song. Even Christian thinks so. So,
It's
I believe Christian. I don't believe you
mm.
is the thing. Yeah.
only
So,
parent.
hi Whitney. Whitney's
Hi.
our special guest today, you guys.
Hi,
She's the
Whitney,
queen of the chat,
the Emperor. I think
the
they made
Nobody's
her.
emperor.
gonna be just like talking shit in the chat. Well, there might be, but I feel like somebody needs to take my place.
Yeah, yeah. So start the shit talking.
Yeah.
So hello and welcome back to Left Unread. I have a prompter with me because I am usually not the host, as you can tell. So here's the
And
intro.
and if you've ever paid attention in the past, you can tell she's not really good at making stuff up on the spot. So we just want to make sure that she had her best foot forward today.
Just remember that I'm judging this episode, so to your
Yeah.
dismay,
Why are you like getting like rare right away?
I would like to make that reminder for all of us. So here's what happened to Dillon. He was changing his brakes and then it took long. And so here we are. That's how usually life goes, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're always in the middle of fixing our brakes. But in case you haven't been with us, here's how this works. Usually, Samson and I read a lot of books, and then we come up with a list that some books that I have read only, and only some books that only Samson has read, and some books that are completely fake. So we make up some titles, and we deliver a random list of these titles to Dillon, who does not read books, and so he has to decipher, or he has to ask us a bunch of questions and then decide who is telling the truth and if the book in question is real or not. How did I do with that intro?
Fantastic.
I tried to look in the camera and make a deep connection with our audience.
Yeah, I felt it.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sucking up already. All right. But
Yeah.
I mean, I am serving as this episode's host to
Hmm.
Samson's dismay. So I'm already biased, toward Whitney winning and you losing. So I don't really
Oh,
like, maybe this is just like the casualty of like,
and I also haven't told you yet, Paran, how beautiful you look today.
Whitney, I was going to say the same thing about you. You look so
Oh,
beautiful and
thank
stunning.
Does
you.
does anyone in the audience right now think I have a chance of winning this without even
No.
thinking about what the book is? Do I stand a
Wait, you think
chance?
this is rigged?
I'm
You
just
think this
saying,
is just a game? This is serious stuff, Samson.
well, we'll see then. We'll see how impartial our judge can be.
I'm impartial to those that tell the truth, and you always lie. So,
I don't want to
mm-hmm,
spill this.
mm-hmm. Samson has no chance. Dillon backs to nil in the chats, ladies and gents, and
Ooh.
and friends who don't identify as either of those genders. But first, Whitney, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm a little distracted. There's a little squirrel out. I can see him right past the window.
Oh,
It's already starting off as like a really good evening. It's really good.
good, good.
I've just put myself in this room so I have no distractions.
I guess
So
I
I'm
have to
I'm
ask
ready
you
to.
See,
too. How
see,
are you doing, Samson?
I am doing quite pleasant. Um, I'm excited. It's been a few weeks since, or a few episodes since I've been given a really fair chance. I feel like my sucking up to Dillon has backfired a little bit, and this is my chance today to really come out strong.
To
I
suck
just
up
want
to your enemy? Oh, okay.
No, see, that's the thing. I don't need to suck up to you because no matter how much I suck up, it's not going to do anything. So I can just focus on the
It's true.
telling of the truth. That's all that matters.
Okay.
I just want to make a point that who do you who are you going to believe? The person that's in what looks like a troll cave or somebody who's in this sunny studio? Really? I mean, he's just kind of setting himself up to be, the troll.
He totally is. I mean, I already believe you, Whitney, more than I will ever believe him. So, I mean, I might as well go through the rest of this as kind of like a formality, but
Yeah,
we all know Whitney
yeah.
has won. So I'm going to award 5 points to Whitney right off the
Like,
bat.
point.
5 points to
5 points for
Whitney.
fairness.
5 points for fairness to Whitney. Okay, so The book that we picked today, hold on, let me just glance at this list one more time. Because all of the titles you provided to me, no offense to you, Whitney, they all looked fake. Okay.
Why is it no offense to her? Does that mean it is offense to me?
Yes, always.
We all contributed to this list.
Okay. All right, here we go. So the book that I have picked for you today is Kill Creek.
Good book. Good book. Yeah.
Okay. Are you excited? How do you feel?
It was an okay book.
I'm very excited.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I told you this is
let's get started.
Yay.
Whew. Okay, you guys, I'm no Dillon, but I tried to prepare some questions for you today.
Okay.
First, we'll start very easy. What is the name of the protagonist? Samson, go ahead.
Oh.
I don't remember. There's actually 5 protagonists, and they all get different storylines. I don't remember their names though. It's been a while since I've read this book.
Do you know how protagonists work?
Yeah, that doesn't look good.
No, it sure doesn't. Okay. Can you tell me anything, like if there's 5 words you can tell me about the protagonist? I'll go a little easy on you.
They are all writers.
Okay. All right. Whitney, what is the protagonist's name?
It has been a while, like several years since I've read this, but I can remember the protagonist's first name. There is one protagonist. His name is Greg. I don't know his last name. I don't remember last names. He is a retired detective.
Oh, yeah. I buy this more than what you said, Samson, so I'm going to give a point to Whitney because that kind of goes with the title of the book. Writers. Okay. All right, next question.
Look at Samson's face.
I'm just reading the chat and the lambasting I'm getting there right now.
Yeah, it's like turning as red as the background behind him. Okay.
He turned the background red so you can't see his face get red.
Oh, it was because Christian asked for the villainous background. True. I was doing it for Christian.
Yeah. Well, now this is just spooky.
Yeah, and you're a little troll. How about green? Like Disney.
Yeah, because you're a troll.
Yeah, you're a troll, and yeah, you look more villainous this way. Okay, great. All right. So if I was a filmmaker, without telling me the plot of the story, tell me why I need to make this movie. Like, make this into a movie. Whitney.
Without telling the plot? You'll want to make this movie because it's got those fun twists and turns that everyone wants at the end of the movie, you know? So you get that satisfying, like, oomph at the end.
I like that. Samson?
It is a very meta horror story, so it'll sell a lot in October.
It's a horror?
Horror story.
Okay. I'm going to give a point again to Whitney. So Whitney is now at 7 points. Samson is at, I'm going to take a point away from you because so you're at -1 because
my goal now is just to get more negative than Whitney gets positive. Yeah. Maybe I can win that way.
Yeah. No, I do want this to be fair.
Oh, totally fair. Always fair, Whitney. Always fair.
Yeah. I do not condone, favoritism, nepotism. This is all just very even and based off of skill.
Absolutely.
Of reading.
Skill of reading and retention. Because he couldn't remember the name of the protagonist.
And there's multiple.
A bunch of writers.
Not one can you remember?
No. They had fake, like, pen names.
Oh, God.
So they were, like, cheesy, forgettable names that...
Sure thing. All right.
I think one was Sam, but that actually sounds even worse coming from Samson.
His name was Jamson?
No, I said I think one of the characters' name was Sam, but that doesn't help because
Ooh,
everyone's just gonna think I'm lying with that.
you guys, Mary made a really good suggestion. So she says, whenever I take a point away from someone, it has to go to the other person. So the point that I took from Samson, I'm going to also give to Whitney. So Whitney is at 8 points, Samson is -1. Okay, next question. If you were going to cast this movie, who would you cast as the antagonist?
Mm. That one is. Who are you asking? Is it Samson?
Oh, I suppose I have to ask. I'm sorry, I was like reading your guys' faces. Whitney, if you don't mind.
Okay, first off, Samson's way better when it comes to actors and actresses' names, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm not that good at it. The antagonist is actually like a young college age woman. So I'm trying to think of young people. I don't know. Emma Stone? No, she's adult now. I don't know.
She could play young. I could see that.
Can she? Okay. She's the youngest person I can think of, but it's like a kind of like a sorority type, but not like, it's like a down to earth sort of. Like it's a gotcha. It's who the antagonist is. Sorry, I'm giving it the ending away actually.
No, that's okay. I have no idea what the ending is.
Okay.
But, okay. Oh, Christian in the comments suggests Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things.
She's never seen Stranger Things.
What? Okay,
but she's the shaved head one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She'd be a good age because she's like kind of like 18, 19 now.
I think so.
Okay, yeah. Sure. Why not?
Okay. All right. Samson.
I feel like you're choosing questions that are intentionally making me look bad.
I don't know.
The antagonist is a house, so you can't cast anyone as the antagonist.
Well, think of a house like in the there's like the Amityville house, like at least a house.
I mean, a creepy house surrounded by trees.
What's its name? What's its name?
Hill Creek Manor.
Are you thinking of, what was that one animated movie where like the house was haunted because like the wife of this guy died in it, and then like the neighborhood kids break into the house?
Monster House.
Monster House.
Yeah.
Samson, are you describing Monster House?
No, I'm describing Kill Creek, but dang it.
Did you watch Schitt's Creek and then followed by some documentaries and Monster House?
Oh,
I'm
you're
speechless.
green, man.
I'm gonna give a point to Mary in the chat because Mary is giving a lot of actor suggestions.
Oh, good.
So point to Mary for this one.
Did she give an actor suggestion for the house?
Nobody could save that. I don't think anyone could save that question.
I'll answer Mary's question though. If the voice had a house, I'd probably make it the guy who does the voice. Yeah, if the house had a voice, I'd make it the voice from the guy who's in all the Final Destination movies with the really creepy. He's also Candyman. I forget his name. But he's got that really like menacing devil voice. No, not James Earl Jones.
Are you
James Earl Jones sounds too nice. This guy needs to sound like really demonic.
Like Vin Diesel?
No, the guy from Candyman, the guy from
There's no one more dead.
How about the guy from House? Everyone hates me.
Yeah.
Demonic.
That's also how I act when, just to sympathize with you.
That was Mary's suggestion. She wasn't trying to guess who I was saying.
Oh, sure. To sympathize with you or empathize with you, Samson, I too get very flustered and misplace my words when I'm lying. So, or flustered. Okay.
And you're flustered every week. So what does that tell you about everyone who's trusted you in the past?
It just means that you're putting me under a lot of stress because I am trying to tell the truth. Okay.
You're evil again, Samson.
Yeah, you're evil. I'm going to take a point away from you for questioning me. So Whitney now has 9 points.
Yeah. What is your strategy here? You're giving Paran a hard time.
I'm being sabotaged.
Yeah. No, no, no.
My big brain, because I'm a quiet genius.
You did this to yourself. Okay. So, question for you. I think every hero on their journey needs some help. Wouldn't you agree? What is
Yeah.
like the sidekick or the best friend to the protagonist? Samson, name one.
Who's the best friend to the
Best
antagonist
friend or
with the protagonist?
sidekick, support group. Name someone who is supporting this protagonist on their journey. Who are they?
They're all supporting each other. I mean, you haven't asked me anything about the plot, so I can't answer this, but the questions don't make sense to
Wow.
the story.
Your
It's
answers
five.
don't make
It is
sense.
a story about five writers who go into a haunted house for Halloween to have a live stream event, and things happen there. So
Okay. So they're
there's
each
no,
other's supporting.
yeah, they're also each other's competition because they're trying to all come out ahead because they're all competitors too in the sense of there being horror writers.
Interesting. Okay. Whitney, name one sidekick or supporting character.
The protagonist is pretty much a loner because he went to this town where Kill Creek is that right after um, his daughter died in like a horrible way. So he actually connects with somebody else whose child died at Kill Creek.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where he's getting a lot of his intel about this town, which has a bunch of murders that have happened at Kill Creek. So it's kind of how they bond together.
Okay. All right. And what is the name of the sidekick?
The guy, I think his name is Stuart, but I don't know for sure.
Okay.
I'm really bad with names. It's been a couple of years.
Okay.
But I think it started with an S.
Okay. I'm going to give a point to Christian in the chat because he said horror.
So
Okay.
people in the chat are now beating me.
Yes.
This is not looking good.
Next question.
You know what? I'm going to give Samson a point.
A Whitney
Aw.
point or one of your points?
I'm going to give you a Whitney point because
Aw.
you're in the same room as my hamster.
I approve that. I approve that. I approve the transfer of points.
King Henry.
You can
I need
have
your
Samson
help.
is at 0 and Whitney is at
it's
7.
like 5. 7? Okay, I'll
Or
go with
8. Yeah, I think you were at 9. Now
I
she's
mean, why
at 7.
not?
Or at 8. Yep. Oh, people are no. Okay, people of the chat, they're no. Points go
What?
from us to you. If you can't
Dillon
just
tried to
give
give me a
points.
point.
No.
Dillon
No
is the original
sympathy
point
points.
giver.
Mary is asking if we can see the hamster.
Oh. Yes, if I get another point at one point.
King Henry.
Okay, well then you have to lie better than that. Next question. This is perfect for you getting a point.
Okay.
What do you like best about me? Samson, you can go ahead and take this one.
Why do you keep asking me questions that have no answer? I like how capable you are and how much you're able to get stuff done. Even if it's something you haven't worked on before, you find a way to make it happen, which is very admirable.
Oh, wow. Wow. That hit me.
Damn it.
That's never happened before. Okay, I give you 2 points for that. Well done. So now you are at 2 points.
And now I'll start to get the hamster.
Yeah, you go get that ready while Whitney answers this question.
Okay. Well, Paran, I know I haven't known you as much as Samson, so he's got the lead on that. But you have been a very sweet and empathetic and kind person, and you were so kind when I came into Samson's life that you were just very welcoming right off the bat. There was no judgment or anything. You have the sweetest heart.
You do. Okay, I take Samson's points away to give them to you. I give you 2 points for that. Thank you so much. But also, that goes both ways. Like, what you guys, Whitney and I have never actually. Well, no, we met once in real life at a board
It
game.
was that. I know we did. Yeah, board game. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
We were doing board games for Samson's birthday, and I was like, "Who is that? Who is that queen?" And then I like slid into Whitney's DMs, and I was like, "Hi, you're awesome." She's probably like, "Who is this freak?"
No, I was
But
like, who is
Whitney,
this beautiful, beautiful woman?
you guys, if you have not, you need to check out Whitney's Instagram. Whitney, give us your handle because she does the most incredible designs with like Victorian, like period costumes. It's like outrageously beautiful. So you guys need to check that out.
Yeah, I do sewing stuff and costuming. So if anyone's interested in that, my handle is Whitney in the Woods. That's it. Just one word, Whitney in the Woods.
Look her up immediately and subscribe. Okay, do you have the hamster?
He's covered in fluff.
He's covered in fluff because I actually couldn't find him. He was buried in the fluff. I had to hunt him down.
Oh, to my baby.
This is King Henry. He loved fighting food and getting himself into white fluff. He is very magical.
He is. Yeah. He's the most magical little bean.
We got him new bedding, and it's like sticks to his fur like it's nobody's business. So we're probably not going to get that again. But
watch our ratings skyrocket.
I'm going to put him back because he's confused.
Oh, okay. Samson, I give you 2 points for your handling of King Henry. I don't think he's listening.
I was a little worried. I actually couldn't find him at first because he normally is like sort of buried, but his head's sticking out. But where he was, I actually had to like lift up like a ½ inch of fluff, and then his face was just there like, what's going on?
Oh, okay. I gave you 2 points because of that adorable footage. So now you have
That's 4 points.
Yeah, yes. 4 points. Whitney is at 9.
Yeah. I'm just happy to be positive, folks.
Okay. The last question of the short answer questions. Are you guys ready? Mm-hmm. If this book was a dessert, what would it be?
Okay.
Whitney, go ahead.
I'm thinking because it's like real dark and just kind of like atmospheric sort of feeling. I feel like it would be a really good like flourless chocolate cake.
Ooh, okay.
I would want to read this book while eating that and have a glass of red wine. I think that's like perfect.
Perfect pairing. Dark, mysterious, rich.
Yeah.
I like that. That's very consistent with your answer. Okay. Samson?
I'd say something kind of like I was going to say like a creme brulee or like something like very caramel based.
Very sweet?
Yeah, light and fluffy.
Not light, something dense, dense and sweet. So it's something that you only can have a little bit at a time because if you take a big mouthful, it's going to be overpowering. It was very spooky. And there were times where I'd have to be like, I need to put this down for a little bit because what?
Wait, are you implying creme brulee is spooky?
Yeah, just listen to the name, creme brulee. It sounds like.
Have you ever had creme brulee?
Yeah, I wondered if you've had it.
Yeah, but it's named. I have, yeah, like at restaurants. I've never made it at home.
Was it made with lead? Like, creme brulee is like.
Very sweet.
Yeah.
Wouldn't this book be better paired with like Halloween candy because it's clearly just like a Halloween fantasy you've had?
No.
Okay.
Because Halloween candy is not dessert. Halloween candy is appetizers. You know this.
This is not true, and no.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give 1 point to Whitney. And I will also give you, Samson, 1 point because it's very brave to go with creme brulee while describing a horror story. So I'm going to give that to you. Like, way to stick it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're at the rapid fire questions. Are you guys ready? All right. We're going to go with one answer question or answers.
One word answers?
One answer answers.
I'm so sorry.
Keep your answers to one answer at a time.
This is why I'm not the host. One word answers, everybody. All right, here we go. How many times have you read this book?
Once.
Are we supposed to do it at the same time?
Yes.
You can, and it's okay if you don't.
Sorry.
It's okay. No.
No, this is like every single one.
What color is the cover of the book?
White.
Gray.
What's my favorite color?
Red.
Teal. Purple.
I'm going to take a point away from both of you. Orange. What year did you read this book?
2020.
I was gonna say 2014. It's been a while.
Okay, that is consistent with Whitney's answers. All right. What is the genre of this book?
Horror.
3.
Or as Christian would say, horror.
Mm-hmm. That is a correct pronunciation. Why did the chicken cross the road?
Because it wanted to throw all kinds of food everywhere because it's sloppy.
To get to the other side. Wait,
Everyone's
no, we're only
heard
supposed
that
to use
answer.
one word.
Oh,
Gravity.
because.
I like because. Okay, all right. What is the name of the antagonist?
Sam, maybe?
Oh, sorry. I was like, didn't I tell you that's protagonist? Antagonist. Emma Stone. Courtney.
Why did you say Sam?
Wait, did you say antagonist or protagonist?
You didn't know the protagonist names.
I thought you were trying to trip me up again, and
No,
I was
I
just
said
saying I thought it was.
antagonist.
Oh, Kill Creek Manor.
What city does the story take place in?
What city? I don't know the city, but it's down in Kansas or Missouri, one of the two. It's outside of Kansas City, and that's tricky
That's
because
not one word. Whitney?
I don't remember the name. It was in Vermont.
Okay.
So, sorry.
Okay. So that was the end of our rapid fire question. I'm so torn. Yeah. So how many questions was that? 3, 6, 8. I'm gonna give 2 points to Samson, and I will give 4 points to Whitney.
Yeah, that tracks. That tracks.
That does track. Because Sam.
Yeah.
I said earlier, I think the actual one of the names was Sam, but that you guys wouldn't believe me if I said
To
it.
be fair to Samson, I also misheard it and I thought you were asking protagonist.
Same.
No,
yeah.
that's okay. That's okay.
She's like, you don't need to be fair to Samson.
No. You don't need to be fair to him. He's unfair to us daily. Okay. Now we have arrived at the long answer questions.
You gonna ask us anything about plot?
I will take 2 points away for
How
your
dare you
poor
question her?
for your poor behavior questioning the all-knowing host. Here's my first question. What is the story about? Whitney, go ahead, Whitney. We'll let Samson collect his lies.
So I've kind of already talked about it's a mystery. There's the detective that had a tragedy happen to him. He moves to this town in Vermont, and there is this like creek there that there's been a lot of homicides or deaths that happened around there. So the locals call it Kill Creek.
Mhm.
And at first he's dealing with his grief. He's hesitant to really get involved with any of it. But when things start to happen where he's getting pulled into it, he starts to, use his detective chops again. And the kind of like the twist in the whole thing is the antagonist is this young woman who goes to like this local like private college. It's like the small college out there. And it's this weird sort of like cult thing. It gets kind of like wacky at the end, but like, yeah, that's the twist is like, oh, I would have never thought it's like this chick who seems just like completely, basic.
Mm-hmm. And so what are the crimes? Like, so there's like murders?
Yeah, so they always find bodies that have been like face down in the creek as if they were drowned. So like for a while you could say it was an accident, but then it becomes this like string of stuff, and it's sort of like a hazing cult ritual at the end.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, she's not really a sorority girl, but like the type of like college girl that has a group of friends, and it's their way of just kind of hazing other young people.
I I see. Okay. Wow. So it's yeah. So it's it's like a lot of mystery that this detective. What was his first name again? Greg.
Yeah.
That he has to unravel. Okay.
Yeah, and then in like true like sort of mystery thriller sort of thing, it's like he deals with his grief while figuring out the mystery, and then he decides he wants to keep doing detective work at the end.
Heard. Heard. Okay. Samson, what is the story about?
I will tell you in a second. Just so you know, we just got a message on the chat from someone
I
on Twitch
do.
who said our
Yes.
game
So
description is Sims 4. So we need to act a bit
unfortunately,
more Sims-like to.
no. I mean, you are.
Wabba doobie.
Yeah, wappada doobie. The thing with the Streamlabs was it was not allowing me to remove the game because that was the game that I played last like this earlier this morning, and so it was
Mm-hmm.
not allowing me to go live if I took the name off, and so I just left it there.
Gotcha.
Uh, we will edit this in post.
Yeah.
Thanks, Gamer Josh.
um,
Okay.
so the story. So it is about this house that is infamous for knowing that it is a lot of murders and death has happened there over the last century and a half. And this lucrative kind of like internet person who's always known for doing these gimmicks decides that he's going to stage this ultimate gimmick where he is going to host the 5 most notorious horror writers of their time. And he's got one who's kind of like, it's like an R.L. Stein, a Stephen King, kind of like some that are known for like good horror, some who are known for like teen horror, some who are known for like kind of classic horror. And they get all 5 of them into this location. And the plan is to just do a live stream of those 5 authors throughout the night. And he gets all of them to come there because through it all, they're all allowed to promote their next book. So it's kind of a big promotional thing for them. But things start happening throughout the night that they can't really explain, and they start getting really spooked. A couple of them actually believe in the paranormal, and a couple of them just take advantage of it for their sales, but they kind of have to still sell it for the house. And you end up finding out that the whole thing is that the house gets its power from its notoriety. So it's actually loving the fact that it's getting this, and it's actually making it stronger. And it's kind of picking which of these authors it wants to trick into writing a book about this location to make it even more famous and notoriety, to give it more power. So
I can relate to that house.
What was that?
I can relate to that house having more power with notoriety.
Yeah. So that's where the antagonist is the house, and these 5 authors are there and start to learn kind of their it pulls from their pasts and their secrets. So they start to see people that like have died in their lives in the past or whatnot, and it's very, very spooky.
Ooh, it's very, very spooky.
So you did watch Monster House.
I actually have never seen Monster's House.
Monster House. Okay.
So it's a generic ghost story with writers.
Right.
Yeah, which makes it great.
Okay. So it's like a tournament. They all want to like survive this house.
Well, the idea is that, I mean, none of them believe anything's actually going to happen to them. So it's not like, House on Haunted Hill or whatever, where it's like they're all going there and whoever survives gets it. Like, no, the whole point is they just have to be there from dusk till dawn, and then they get to go home. And I think they each get a certain amount of money just for being there, because this guy's going to rake in millions for this live stream.
So it is like House on Haunted Hill.
But in House on Haunted Hill, they all, I think they're gonna, like, it's like they have to stay the night to like through all these different things. There's no gimmicks or horror setup. It's really just supposed to be them live streamed for the internet audience.
Okay. All right.
Just to correct
that
you.
That was very long-winded.
The Haunting of Hill House is about people who think they're going to go to a sleep study.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Not Haunting of Hill House, House on Haunted Hill.
Oh, never mind.
Haunting a Hill House is the one that we watched on Netflix.
I don't remember this.
There's so many hills and houses and hauntings on those hill houses. And
okay, well, you guys, I'm like more and more I'm torn, because like my bias is to just ignore everything Samson is saying because I just think he's lying.
Because he is.
He is. I did enjoy, like, I want that to be real, though, because it's an interesting thing for a bunch of horror writers to like go to a retreat. Okay, so I'm gonna give everybody 1 point.
I
Yeah,
think that's the best round I've had so far.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think so too.
A
Okay,
tie.
it's
But what if
yeah,
the name
sure.
of the protagonist, Sam?
It's a tie.
No, that round was a tie, so
Oh
that's the best
yes,
I've
yes, yes,
gotten away
yes.
with.
Yeah, right. Okay. Next question. Describe to me the arc of the protagonist. Like in Samson's case, describe to me the arc of the protagonists. So apply it to however many protagonists you have in the book. So Whitney, go ahead.
So kind of what I talked about before, it's a kind of the classic sort of down and out detective. His wife left him after their kid died in a horrible way in a car crash. And so it starts with him just being like, I give up, I'm going to this like small town where I can live cheaply and just get away from everything.
Mm-hmm.
And his arc is basically about growing through his grief and also using it as a tool to be a better detective, to connect with people, and refinding himself by solving this mystery.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's essentially like going through the stages of grief.
Yeah. While also like um, trying to figure out what's going on in this town.
Mm-hmm.
And connecting with his sidekick, or not really sidekick, but this other grieving father whose child had died, or like teenage child died
Right.
in the creek.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it goes back to solving crimes.
So, all right. Samson, that was pretty straightforward. Samson, what is the arc of the protagonist for this story?
Well, they all have different ranges on whether or not they're willing to go to this thing. Like the one who's more kind of the teeny bopper writer is like, yeah, let's go do this, as opposed to one who's more prestigious is like, no, I don't want to go do this. This is a gimmick, and this is not what he considers himself like a true writer and doesn't want to do that. But they all eventually go, mostly from pressure of their publicists.
Yes.
And then this whole night happens, and this is also kind of one of the downsides to it. It started to get really, really, really good and spooky, and then the night ends, and they all go home, and the book's only like half over, so I was really confused at first. But you start to see as they go home, the house is sort of like infested their psyche, and they start like all these visions that they had in the house start happening more and more as they obsessively write about the book and write about it more and more. And then they finally talk to each other and realize that they've all been writing the same book, which is about trying to kind of memorialize this house and make this house like a big
Monster
villain
House.
in their story.
Yeah.
Monster House.
Yeah.
Definitely Monster House.
Yeah.
And then they all have to decide to go back to the house and end it.
Does the house come alive like its eyes, like the windows are eyes?
And like the door is its mouth.
Yeah.
No, but I think the trees turn into hands.
Yeah.
And fingers reach out and grab them. And
Yeah. You watch Monster House.
Or did you play Betrayal on the what is it?
Oh yeah.
The game where like a bunch of people go in the house.
I have that in the other room, but I haven't played it yet.
Oh, okay. All right.
He watched Monster House, played that game, and then also watched that Goosebumps movie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, this will tell us a little bit more about the level of detail that you retained from this book. Describe to me, in no more than a minute, Samson. Don't give me a monologue. Describe.
I think we don't have
me,
that timer app yet.
Yeah. Oh Jesus. It's okay. It's the second that I stopped listening, I realized it's been like a few minutes. Describe to me the first chapter of this book. Samson, go ahead.
The first chapter is the, I guess, main viewpoint that we get of one of the five authors, the one that we see the most of.
I thought they're all equally protagonistic-ish.
I mean, it's not like they all have an equal division of pages. They're just all the viewpoints you get. But the guy who you see the most of, he
So
is
the main protagonist.
he's not, yeah, sure, the main protagonist of 5 protagonists. But he is a professor at college in the same town as Kill Creek, and he's there talking to them about writing to students about how to write horror and what is good horror and what is kind of cheesy horror. And then the students actually keep bringing up Kill Creek, and he keeps talking about how that's just an urban myth and how that's important in the lore of horror writing, but it's not, you know, the kind of the crux of it. So it's kind of the foreshadowing that we learn the exposition of the house is through this guy talking about it with his students.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Again, I really enjoyed that. Like, I want this book to be real, but knowing you, I'm just suspecting that you're lying. So I don't know where that leaves us. How does Dillon do this? Okay, Whitney, go ahead.
He gets it wrong lately. He's been getting it wrong a lot.
Because
you hear that,
you're
Dillon?
so hard to read.
So I'm gonna be honest. It's probably not gonna be as straightforward as Samson's because I read this in 2014 and I'm not making it up. So in my head, I'm summarizing what I remember from the beginning. It starts with Greg, the detective, when he's driving out to this Vermont town. The settings like in the fall time too, because like school is coming back into session and all this stuff. But he stops at a diner on the way there and tries to call his wife or ex-wife, I guess at this point, and she's not picking up, and it kind of goes back in time why he's separated with his ex-wife, and it talks about how his daughter was in a car with his mother, her grandmother, and they got in a car accident, and he's just been like, they talk about it like he takes nips of like alcohol, like he has alcoholism, all this stuff. So kind of like sets the scene for why he's in the town. And then kind of also gives a thematic look at like it's very like classic countries. So like he stops at the diner and the locals are a little like skittish around him because they're not really used to him, and it just really gives a good like setting for where it's gonna go. Unfortunately, they don't really talk about the plot until later on when he finds out about this Kill Creek as he's exploring this town.
Okay. Okay. I never saw this day would come. I'm gonna give 2 points to Samson.
Oh God.
Are there any points to Whitney in that? Like I feel like and 17 points to dang it.
No.
No,
You know, I will give Whitney a
she's
point.
starting.
I will give Whitney a point because it was consistent with what she's been saying. But I really am enjoying this book that Samson's writing, I guess, before our eyes. I really do enjoy that.
Maybe Samson should write it when it's
I
all
think
done.
so. I think he really should. I mean, if for those of you that don't know, Samson is actually a playwright as well. I mean, he is a talented man of many traits and creative tools, but he also has done playwriting, so it won't be out of the norm for him.
It makes him good at making shit up.
Exactly. So
Can you trust a playwright? No one can trust.
No one can trust a playwright.
Not playwright.
No, I agree with you. But tempting story. Okay. Describe or tell me why does the antagonist, whether it's a person or a thing, why does the antagonist exist? What is the purpose of the antagonist? Whitney, go ahead. Go first.
So the antagonist, Courtney, is there to basically, I mean, in a storytelling way, it puts kind of a twist to things because the way that the narrative is going, it very much leans towards, like the gruff sort of character that's in the town. Like there's a bunch of different characters in the town that like, oh, maybe they could do it because they're kind of shady. You never see it coming that this like young woman who is going to the local college, seems to get along with all the townspeople, is really like a two-faced sort of sociopath that is killing off people in some sort of weird cultish hazing ritual in the creek. So yeah, I think her point is just to kind of like throw people off the trail. It's like a very classic thriller where I've noticed this with a couple of books too, where they just kind of throw the least likely character because it's the most fun twist. So that's what she's there for.
Christian says cults in the creek. So is she like, is she trying to like do like an initiation thing with like a cult or
yeah, basically it's like she has this group of friends, and when new people, and she doesn't just pick on like other girls, it's like young men and women come to the school. There's sort of like the secret society, and if they can't like do these certain tasks or these certain like to get into the groups, like they need to keep it secret and stuff, they will kill them as a sacrifice. So it's got a little bit of like witchcraft in it too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. All right.
So
I'm excited for the novels that Whitney and I will be able to write together now that I know that she's got such a creative writing strategy.
Well, Samson, what do you got? What do you got?
I don't have a bone in my body.
Did you say you don't have a creative bone in your body?
Yeah.
Well, multiple people in the chat have talked about how they've been insta-stalking you throughout this all and are obsessed with you and how creative you are. So none of them are going to believe that.
And they're extending a hand of friendship to you as we speak, Whitney.
They all like you.
But you'll notice that there's no storytelling on my Insta.
Yeah,
Lies.
Christian just wrote lies. Her Instagram is creative AF.
Exactly. Speaking
and
of
Mary
creative,
said Insta trolling because she doesn't like the term Insta stalking.
Exactly. It is trolling, not stalking. Samson, speaking of trolling, tell us what the purpose of the antagonist is in this book.
Well, I mean, I don't know if there's a purpose of it. I can tell you that the reason for it. So it started because this house was built by this man in I think the early 1800s, and it was for him and for his wife, who was a woman of color. And the town actually was so outraged by this that they went onto the property and murdered her while he watched, and then eventually killed him. And it spawned this sort of like evil place that anyone who's bought the house over time has sort of felt that energy, and it's slowly driven them to be more and more chaotic. And the house itself has built up this negative, hateful reputation and energy over time that it's gone into the point where I think it was like in the 90s, it was like a peak thing. And then it kind of died down because no one owned the house for 20 or so years. And that's why this house, its reason for doing what it's doing is pulling everyone in because it's losing all the energy and no one's really believing in it anymore. So it's trying to become kind of get its energy again in this new way of society with the internet.
So Monster House.
The Monster House for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Final question. I'm so torn, you guys. Okay. I knew like the 3 titles that you presented me with all looked fake, but now I just don't know. Okay. Describe to me the climactic scene of the book. Like, where does everything come to a point and exciting things start to happen? Samson, you go first.
Well, there's a big battle with the people who are left alive outside of the house at the end. They go in there with the intention of trying to get rid of the negative energy, but one of them is really smart and brings a bunch of gas cans just in case. They all get out there and they start basically pouring the gas around, but the house has completely corrupted one of the writers to a point where it's guiding their thoughts. So he comes up with like this axe and starts chasing them down, and they have a battle, which that's where the tree hand kind of comes and grabs and holds them up while they're kind of like battling. And that's when they're able to finally set the house on fire, and the energy that's left within it weakens. I don't know if it weakens or goes away, but it makes it to the point where they can kind of escape and they just leave and vow never to go back.
Okay. Do they write their book?
this was their writing of the book was before they went back to the house, so that wasn't the climax. But they all were writing, and then one of them, they kept all getting to a point where there was a staircase in the place that's bricked up.
Mm-hmm.
And when they were there, they noticed it, but they didn't do anything about it because they couldn't get past it. But in their book, they all got to that point, and they kept trying to find ways to get past it in the book. And the author who actually found the way is the one that was kind of like the chosen one, if you will. And then the rest of them all lost their inspiration because they were typing like, like 15, 20,000 words a day in this novel. Up until this point, they were like crazed and couldn't do anything else. They lost their jobs. They were just staying at home writing. But one of them got passed. So, and that's when they all decided that like when they hit that, I guess, figurative and literal wall, they reached out to each other. And that's when they realized they all were having the same problem, except one person, because he was able to get through it. And then they realized, oh, this is what this is about. So they go back to the house.
Okay. That was very long. Whitney?
Very long. I don't think I'll ever be able to be as long-winded as.
That's okay. No one can. No
okay.
one.
Like, yeah. I just like to keep things succinct.
Thank you.
So, the climax of this book is when the detective, like, catches the main antagonist in a lie. Sorry, somebody's texting me, and I should have turned off my phone. Catches the young woman Courtney in a lie, and suddenly everything falls together, where these inconsistencies where he can start to track like, oh, she was at this place at this time, and so he decides with those leads to go back to the creek to see what was going on, because it's kind of like with everything's ramping up, he has a feeling that there's going to be another kill soon. And so he does go there, and lo and behold, there is this sort of cultish, witchcrafty sort of coven that is doing some rituals and about to drown another young woman in town that works at the diner that has popped up before, but like as just like a side character. And he basically puts a stop to it. And well, obviously he's a detective, so you got the sheriff involved as well. They kind of ambush it, and then it all comes to a head, like everything is revealed what happened. And she goes to jail.
Emma Roberts in jail.
Ooh, yes! Oh my God, Emma Roberts would be so good as her. Okay. Okay.
Have you ever seen Scream Queens?
I want to.
She plays.
Why haven't we watched that yet?
So bad.
I don't know what. We should watch that.
Yeah, that should be our next thing we watch. We're gonna watch Scream Queens.
But I'm so glad. Yeah, that's perfect. That is perfect.
She's she plays a really good mean girl. And also, Billie Lourd is in that series as well.
Yeah, I love her daughter. Well, thanks.
Okay, so I will give a point to you both. But that also brings me to the end of my questions, and honestly, like I'm so torn. So I'm gonna not look at the comments.
Yep, hide the comments. Comments, you can all tell everyone how much you know I'm the one telling the truth right now, and let us all know.
I don't have to beg. I answered the questions. Samson needs to beg, I guess.
Yeah,
I do. Did you not hear how I answered some of those questions? It
wasn't good.
Yeah.
Started off kind of rocky, almost like you had to like work the story out in your head for a while.
It did. It really did. But then once he got going, it was like the lying just came very naturally, which then made me doubt if he was lying. Okay.
Who do people? So people throw in your responses of who you think is telling the truth.
I'm trying not to look at my screen so I don't see anything by accident.
Yeah.
Also, Dillon, if you are watching and listening, I think Amanda White is here and she's trying to get in the building. So if you don't mind, once you post your answer, if you can go get her. Okay.
Okay. We got Christian's response, Dillon's response, Mary's response.
Okay.
I think that's the people who are still active in chat, because I know Nicole had to leave.
Okay.
So if anyone else is watching and wants to throw it in, feel free. Otherwise, I feel you're good, Paran.
Let me just start by saying that I'm not very confident about the way that things have unfolded.
Mm.
Because again, my bias is to just point the finger at Samson and say that he is lying. But I felt that, first of all, Whitney's answers were always very consistent. It really matched even with like the rapid fire questions. Like it made me feel like she has read the book, and she like maybe she'd read it a while back, and so she can't recall as many specifics, but like everything seemed consistent. Samson, I did not trust off the right off the bat. But the more he expanded on the story, granted, he said he read it in 2020, the more I'm inclined to believe him, because there's very like specific details, and he continued to push even though we were like Monster House. He was like, I'm gonna stick to this. So
I have a feeling I need to watch Monster House.
you really should if you have not. So here's my answer. I think
Do you think the book is real or not
that
first?
this book is real, and the person who has read it is Samson.
Kill Creek is a real book. You can't see it right here.
Yay! Oh my god, did I actually get it right?
You did. Um,
This
so
went against every natural instinct, you guys. This was not
mean,
easy. Like I'm
and
sweating.
and I
in
just looked it
pain.
up while Whitney was answering. The main character, like the main protagonist, is Sam. I was right, but once I said I didn't know, I figured if I was like, "Oh, his name is Sam," as Samson, I figured none of you would believe me, so I had to just stick with not. No.
Well, you were
But
very,
everyone in the
like,
audience got it wrong.
Did
Someone
they?
thought it was Whitney, and both other people thought it was a fake. So
Oh,
You guys, I do not envy Dillon.
yeah. I actually have been sweating this whole time because I'm not a good liar. I really am not.
I think that if I was watching this, Whitney, the only reason I may have voted for me is because I've had such specific answers in every other week. And this week I just didn't have any. So it was either I completely did not do my homework or I really didn't know what I was doing.
Yep. But here,
So,
let me just
but yours
clarify this,
sounded
Whitney.
much more accurate than
I
mine.
think that this speaks more so to your just genuine nature, is that I really believed you. But the only thing that made me unfortunately lean toward Samson, the villain, is that he had more specific answers. But you, like, for someone who claims that they're not good at lying, you were consistent the whole time. So props to you. I think really though, Whitney's the true winner of this episode.
Yeah,
I honestly think if I had had better answers to start, that actually Paran may have not believed me because it would have been too manufactured sounding.
well,
You like turned it around.
I did.
I based that story that I gave on like a bunch of mysteries that I've read. Like it's just a mismatch, which when you're trying to make a mystery off the top of your head, it's very hard.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
there's a lot of specifics of a mystery that you don't realize until you're like, oh shoot. Yeah.
But you both
Just for
did
what it's
really
worth,
well.
Whitney, Dillon thought that you were telling the truth.
Because I have an honest face.
Yeah.
You do.
So,
You have a very honest
if
face.
Dillon had remembered to check his brakes before today, you would have probably won. Yeah. Yeah. And both Mary and Christian want to be your friend. They've been on the show. They've been in another. They've been on this show. They've been on another segment that we've had. They've chatted through the chats for a while, and I've watched their live streams, and they've never asked to be my friend. So
No, I don't think they will. So I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really. Yeah, I wouldn't really.
I mean, I requested their friends on their friendship on Facebook, and they accepted. So that's kind of like them asking to be
Samson,
my friend.
Facebook, everything about it is performative. So just because they accepted your friend request does not mean that you're actually friends.
Yeah,
So
that's what I'm saying is they've never actively gone out of their way to be like, Samson, you need to be my friend.
Yeah,
It was more like,
no.
oh, Samson asked, I guess.
No, I think that's purely for networking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you need to lie less for more people to like want to be your
I
friend.
I told the truth this whole.
You have a snaky face right now.
You do. Even though you just won. I'm still like, did he? I don't believe him. Did you just like draw the house on your phone real quick?
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
that you could, but still.
Well, I do want to get friends with people. The more the merrier. Samson might feel triumphant right now, but he has to live with me. So how's this night gonna go? I don't know.
I will sleep on the couch and not be untucked tomorrow. I can tell you,
You
that
won't
much.
be. Yeah, Whitney is not going to untuck you in the morning.
Nope.
Yep, that's right. That's exactly
That's what
right.
happens when you go against the person in your household. You do not get untucked.
Yes, that's exactly right. Well, thank you everybody for joining this episode. I don't know how I did. Like we should maybe like have ratings of hosts because I probably did not do very well. I did get it right, but I'm not as entertaining as Dillon Baxendale. So, thank you for rolling with the punches of the changes in our stream. We will be back next week, and maybe we'll have some special guests with us.
We're going to be
again.
switching it up to a weekly game show as opposed to every other week. So
Yeah,
you know when to find us.
yeah, we'll be here next Sunday at 6 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Be there or be square, like Samson.
Yes. Oh.
And thank you for having me on.
Of course.
Thank you
Thanks
for
for joining us.
Again, if you haven't followed Whitney, please follow her at
Whitney in the Woods.
Perfect. And go troll her Instagram and give her some love.
No, I want people to stalk. I want old-fashioned stalking.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Fair.
Never mind. I'm joking. I'm joking.
She doesn't want old-fashioned stalking. She wants new age stalking.
New age stalking with
Yeah.
you. I will create
Yeah.
some fake accounts right after ending the stream. Okay. Well, on that note, we will see you all next week.
Next week, when I tell you the truth again and Paran lies to your faces.
Bye. Oh my God. Bye, everybody.